All right, what's popping? What's popping? What's popping?
Chip on your ugly, okay?
All right, what's going on, everybody? Can y'all hear me? Get in here, get in here. It's time to get into some things, okay? I'm trying to make sure y'all can hear me. Is the volume up? Can y'all hear me good? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? We get into some things today. Today is day 3 of the Megan Thee Stallion versus Milagro Grams defamation case in Miami. When I tell you I'm tired as hell, I'm tired, but we're going to get through it. I mean, I'm going to just tell you this. These cases, when I do these cases, it'd be a lot because then you have to go to court. You be in court all day, and then you have to kind of get up, do the case, then come back and go live and break it down after you're taking notes. But we're going to get through it. It's a lot of information, but we're going to try to breeze through this real quick. Well, not too quick because we got to get into some things. I'm going to tell you, it was eventful in different ways. I felt triggered a little bit. But for me, I felt like overall, I was feeling like the day went 50-50. But if I'm being honest, I think today, I would have to give it to Team Megan Thee Stallion. Milagro did have one good moment for me. But Team Megan Thee Stallion, I think, was a bit better. I'll tell you this, too. I didn't see the full verdict sheet, but a girl sent me the first 2 counts. I'm going to be honest with you. Milagro's getting charged with at least 2. The deep fake video, that's one of the counts. I think that I think they're going to charge her on for that one. And then saying that Megan Thee Stallion lied on the stand about Tory Lanez shooting her, I think they're going to get her for that one too because Tory Lanez got convicted. So I think those 2, she definitely is going to get nailed for. Those are the only 2 I've seen. I'm hearing that it's 8. But I do think that they're probably going to nail her for those 2. But we're going to get into some things. Now, a lot of things happened today. DJ Academics, they played his deposition. They played Caesar from Unite the People's deposition, which was a hoot. We're going to talk about that. They also had T. Ferris on the stand today. That was a highlight. They also had a forensic psychologist who was paid to be there for Megan Thee Stallion's side. That was interesting later on towards the end. And they also had Megan Thee Stallion's commercial rep. He reps her brand deals and all of that stuff from Rock Nation. He was there and he threw a lot of shade at Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was brought up a lot today. Joe Budden was brought up a lot today. Who else? Aiden Ross was brought up today on both sides. They were bringing up, but Nicki from the outside was the one that was brought up the most today from both sides. So we're going to get into it. Okay. Now, first I walk in, I got there a little bit late, but it was okay. Because they were playing DJ Academics' deposition. Not really too much there in the deposition part of DJ Academics. I wish he would have been here, but it was a little boring. They pretty much talked about a tweet where DJ Academics said he had breaking news that there was no DNA on Tory Lanez's on the gun of Tory Lanez, right? And they questioned him on that because he tweeted and deleted. They said, well, why did you tweet and delete? He said, well, because they said it wasn't accurate, right? He was like, well, if that's what you're trying to say, but technically it wasn't accurate because it was inconclusive, which means it wasn't a lie, but it wasn't true. Milagro Grams copied and pasted that same tweet. So they tried to merge the 2 together. This is Megan Thee Stallion side. They merged the 2 together to be like, you guys were working together. You guys have the same sources. You guys were pretty much going against Megan Thee Stallion and putting out that lie. And DJ Academics kind of like, well, I don't know what she posts and why she posts. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just posted. But my thing was, Milagro posted the same tweet, copy and paste, and they're trying to tie it together. But I said, but Academics has a large platform. There's many of us that will copy and paste an Academics post or a chart data post and post it from our own page just because we don't necessarily want to share someone else's page. We can post it for ourselves. So we'll have the data, we'll just post it. So I don't think it was about them more so working together. It's just more so, okay, so this is the fact. Academics is credible in most cases. So you just posted it. Then they played Milagro Graham's audio where she was feeling very confident about that tweet that she put out in regards to Tory Lane's DNA not being found on the gun. Now, neither Milagro Grams or DJ Academics had seen a report, but they had heard that it was inconclusive. So Milagro Grams, they play the audio. Bitch, sue me. I put out a tweet that says Tory Lanez took a DNA test and Tory Lanez's DNA wasn't on the gun. And that's a motherfucking fact. Sue me. If it's a lie, Megan, bitch, get to suing. That's what they played in court. They played again. If it's a lie, ho, get to suing, bitch. That's what Milagro posted. That's the audio that they played in Milagro. So they were trying, eventually, I guess they had, academics had eventually told them where he got the source from, where he got the information, but academics wasn't really trying to, I guess he got the information from Sunstar or something like that it was inconclusive. The thing is, it wasn't a lie, but it wasn't true, but technically it was false. So, there's a technicality there. Milagro was given, I ain't taking the tweet down. This is what she was saying in the audio. I ain't taking shit down, and I'm standing on it. Bitch, sue me. Megan, get to suing. Get to suing, bitch. What's up? And I said what I said. Get to suing, bitch. That's what she was giving in the audio. And, they played that blaringly loud, real loud. And I'm just thinking, well, shit, we in court. She's suing. Oh, but it gets better. So Caesar, they pull up Caesar. Now, Caesar McDowell slightly is the fraud that works for Unite the People that was supposed to be representing Milagro Grams. Remember, he janked her for $20,000, but apparently he had been working with Tory Lanez. Now, in his deposition, Caesar was absolutely horrendous in his deposition. Okay. Now, I didn't realize that Caesar had been in jail, federal prison, for over 26 years. He had went to jail in 1996 and pretty much didn't get out until 2020 or 2021. Tory Lanez ended up helping him start his business, and it came out that Tory Lanez sent up to somewhere around $50,000 to help families that was represented by Unite the People pay their legal fees. So he would be paying Tory Lanez would be paying Caesar's company to help families that I guess Caesar was placing with lawyers or helping out with their legal fees. Now, they were asking him all these questions, and Caesar was in the deposition. He's talking about, I don't remember. They said, soon as Caesar sits down for the deposition, he sits down, gangster, ghetto. You can tell, you can always tell when a nigga's been to prison. They just have a certain tone in their voice. You can tell, okay, this nigga's a jailbird. He says, this ain't gonna go good. You know that, right? They said, what do you like to do? Like, well, I have a lot of activities, a lot of things. They said, well, what kind of clients do you have and who do you work with? Who do you help at your company? People who call me. White people, Chinese people, black people. They said, well, how do you get the funding? How did you start your business? You've been in prison. I don't remember. I just got the money. They said, did you take out loans? Like, what's your responsibility? I don't remember. I don't know. Do you work? He said, what do you do? They said, well, what do you do at the company? Work hard. They said, do you have a lawyer's license? Shit, I don't remember. Did you have a law license in prison? No, he said, do you have a law license? Prison. You got your law license in prison? No, I went to prison. Prison. Like, I went to prison. They said, you know, Tory Lanez. Did Tory Lanez end up helping you in the business? Tory? Nigga, Tory who? Tory Lanez? They said, yeah, Tory Lanez. Oh, shit, I don't remember. They said, have you ever seen Tory Lanez support Unite the People? Yeah, shit, I don't remember. How many years did you do in prison? 26. Did you advise Tory during his case with Megan Thee Stallion? Shit, I don't remember. Did you ever help? Watch this. This is the good one. Did you ever help or advise Milagro Grams? Now remember, he was working with Milagro. Remember, that was her first counsel. So the Megan's team said, did you ever work with or did you ever do anything with Milagro Grams? He said, who? Milagro Cooper. So shit, I don't even know her. Who the hell is that? I never even met her. I'm thinking, oh, what the fuck? You don't know her and you never met her. They said, so was Tory Lanez contributing to UTP financially? He said, oh, what you say? Was Tory Lanez oh, you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Oh shit, I don't remember. Shit, I don't remember. Shit, I don't remember. This nigga was up there playing games. When clients come to you, did Tory Lanez ever pay legal fees off? Shit, I don't know. Did Tory Lanez ever pay for Milagro's fees? Jenny said, you know what? You mind if I roll this blunt right now? Pulls out a bunch of blunts and weed. You don't mind if I roll this while you talk, right? Didn't even answer the question. She said, and I'm like, did this nigga just pull out a bag of dope in the middle of her question and just start rolling a blunt? Then she said, I can't control you. He gonna say, oh, you want to control me? She said, no, I can't. He said, you know what? I'm gonna take a smoke break. She said, you can't do that. You can't just take a smoke break. I'm talking to you right now. Nigga, I got to smoke. I mean, either I can, and I gotta go pee. So what? I mean, I'm like, how long is this gonna take? Because I could either piss right here or I can go piss in the bathroom. And I need to smoke. So what you want to, actually, you know what? I'm leaving. That nigga got up and walked up and left. And then I wrote, wow, And then in the middle of nowhere, the judge says, hold on, really quick, everybody just stop. If there's a juror on the phone, please put the phone up. It was the Mexican guy in the back, like this on the damn phone, not even looking at the screen. The jurors was sitting, I wrote, the jurors are so checked out, they on the damn cell phone. They not even paying attention to the deposition. He ended up coming back, but he ended up just not saying anything. He just kept saying he didn't remember. He didn't remember. He didn't remember. I don't think that really looked good for Milagro because it was clear he was lying. Because then later on, they ended up playing an audio where the nigga was on the phone talking to Tory Lanez about Megan Thee Stallion and Milagro. So that was interesting to me. But we finally come in and T. Ferris was there. T. Ferris is Megan Thee Stallion's friend. Now, this is where it gets really Tifo. So grab your cups and get really here and just sit down because it's a lot of information. So Megan's team brings T. Ferris out as a witness. And I'll say this. I like T. Ferris. It's something about T. Ferris's energy that feels very authentic, very genuine. He feels loyal. I like his spirit. T. Ferris, to me, is a person that you want to have in your corner. He gonna ride for you, right, wrong, or indifferent. He lied a little bit, but he's a rider. I like T. Ferris. His spirit is right. His energy is right. Megan, don't F over your friend. He's your friend. He rides for you, and he loves you. I like T. Ferris. I like his energy a lot. He's a big old teddy bear. I like T. Ferris. He's a good guy. So I want to start with that. I like T. Ferris. He's cool. I didn't meet him personally, but just watching him interact, listening to him speak, just the way his mannerisms are, he's a good guy. So he walks in and they start asking him questions. You know, when did he meet Megan Thee Stallion? How does he know Megan Thee Stallion? Who is he to Megan Thee Stallion? So it was revealed that T. Ferris and Megan Thee Stallion live here together in Miami. That's important. I didn't know Megan Thee Stallion lived here, and I didn't know that they lived together. So apparently, Megan lives here, and she lives with T. Ferris in Miami. They met in 2018. He DM'd someone that was working with her at a point in time and wanted to work with her. She ended up having a meeting with him. He met her and her mom. It ended up going really well. And the rest was history somewhat. T. Ferris ended up meeting her mom one day in person, and the mom always told him for him and her never to fall out. One day they was on FaceTime, and then, the next day, Megan Thee Stallion's mom was in a coma, and we all know what happened after that. Megan Thee Stallion seemed very happy that he was there. It felt like family was there, familiarity was there. She looked like she was a lot more relaxed when she saw her boy there. So it was a good energy for her. I could see that. I wrote here, I like T. Ferris. He seems very genuine and authentic. I think he's really good for her. T. Ferris is the one, he took over the day-to-day manager role after her mom got sick. Okay. He is no longer her manager in her career as much. He's more of her personal manager. Okay. They said, well, when did you stop being her, business manager in a sense? Well, he said when they signed the Roc Nation deal, Roc Nation took over that. And her Roc Nation manager was there later on. We're going to get into him later. So Roc Nation, they handled the brand deals and the touring and all that. T. Ferris handles her day-to-day and a little bit of her finances. They asked him, does he have insight on her finances? He said yes. If they can't go get to Megan Thee Stallion, He's able to approve things. He's like a big brother, and she's like a little sister relationship. He wouldn't call himself a guardian. I said she's smiling and laughing about T. Ferris. Because T. Ferris was talking about, she's like my sister, like, we used to be in the Holiday Inns. Now we're in the Waldorf. I think that's what it is. Waldorf. I ain't even been there, so I can't even say it. We used to be eating, bologna sandwiches. Now we eating steaks. Like, we friends like that. We started from the bottom. Now we up type thing. That's my girl. That's my dog. That's my little sister. I'm riding for her. I'm rocking with her on anything. That's kind of what he was giving. Like, she got is we all we got. And it was more like, he was basically like, I don't get into her personal relationships. I don't get into who she's dating. They asked him things like that. I don't really get too far into that. This is my girl. I support her. I've never slept with her. We've never messed around. We've always been friends, and she's been my little sister. I'm 44 years old. She's like my little sister. I'm her big brother. That's what it's given. Then they say, well, do you know the things that have been said about Megan Thee Stallion? So they're building the case now. They're leading T. Ferris. Okay, so I'm going to break it down to you. What they're doing with T. Ferris right now, he is supposed to speak to her mental health and her trauma, because this is what today is. This is part of, in my mind, today was the day where they were supposed to seal the fate on the defamation, and the harassment and the attacks. So T. Ferris was in there today to kind of slightly debunk I'm not her handler, I'm her big brother. Yes, I have a little bit of control of her finances, because if you know anything about the court systems, both the plaintiff and the defendant, they know what the other parties are going to come at them with, and they know what evidence the other sides have. So they are trying to get ahead of the curve, because the defense is going to come in and address these financial things. Because why are people calling you her guardian? Why do y'all live together? And why do you have access to her finances? But that's another question. That's going to be on the defense side. So I'm just putting it out there so you guys know that T. Ferris's job here is to paint the picture that Megan Thee Stallion was so distraught by Milagro, her mind was gone and she wasn't able to work. So this is where we're going with this testimony. Okay, just so y'all know. So their line of questioning is going to be angling towards that. So they start asking T. Ferris about, when Megan Thee Stallion sees negative news about her, what happens? And how do you see it? He sees a lot of the news from fans. They send him emails, DMs, and he would always tell Megan Thee Stallion. And Megan Thee Stallion would become so sad. She would be so disgusted that she would just go, and she would be so hurt that she would just run away in her room for hours and not want to talk to anybody. Especially when Milagro Grams made a post. T. Ferris said, they said, have you ever heard of Milagro Grams? He said, yes. Milagro Grams never says anything positive about Megan Thee Stallion. If Megan Thee Stallion breathes, she talks about it. She talks about her music. She's always talking shit. They asked T. Ferris, were you there the night of the shooting? Because you said you were always with her. This was the plaintiff, Megan side. She said no, but Kelsey called me. She sent me a text, and then she also sent the security guard a text. I ran down to see what was going on, but I accidentally drove past it. Nigga, how you drive past it? So he drove past Meg. Then when he finally found out where they were, he couldn't get to her because the police had everything barricaded off. Megan had been shot. Then Megan was going to the hospital. The police told him, wait until you hear from Megan Thee Stallion. She's going to call you, and then you can come check on her then. They asked, well, why did Megan Thee Stallion lie about the glass? He said, because she wanted to protect everyone in the car. They said, so what did you do after the shooting? Like, because Megan Thee Stallion just wasn't the same after that, according to him. Apparently, he took her to Tampa Bay on the water, and she was off the grid trying to rehabilitate. They would go fishing. They would listen to music. He would try to get her to be inspired again. But she just could not pull herself out of the rut because every time she would try to get going, Milagro would make a post. Then they played a video. They said, do you recognize Milagro posts in her audios? He said, yes. They said, let's play a live stream for Milagro. Bitch, you come from alcoholics. Your mama was a petty thief. You was always on some lame shit. You a drunk ass bitch. How the hell you talking about Carl Crawford doing cocaine and calling him a cokehead? Bitch, you come from alcoholics. Your mama was a thief. You a lame ass bitch. You ain't shit. Thank you. What did Megan Thee Stallion do after she heard that audio? Megan was sad. She didn't want to talk to anyone. And she would just run and hide in her room for hours. She would be so hurt. And I can always tell when something was going on with Megan Thee Stallion. She would look at her phone and Milagro would make a post and she'd be laughing. Then Milagro would post and then Megan Thee Stallion would just get quiet. And the whole day would be ruined because Milagro posted. Oh yeah, I wrote they had really tried it. They had really tried it. They had really tried. Yes. They were playing. They were yes. Megan Thee Stallion, it would affect her whole day. It would affect her mood, her parties, her creativity. She couldn't work. She couldn't eat. They pulled up a text where Megan Thee Stallion was in her room. She was so affected by Milagro, she couldn't speak, she couldn't talk, but she sent T. Ferris a text. I don't want things to affect me like this. I feel like I'm always under attack. I've been hurt. I've been shot. And I'm looking for support from people in my life and in my real life. And always looking for validation on the internet and nobody gives a fuck. And he sent her a Bible scripture. Psalm 69, 69 and 4. And they said, well, what is this Bible scripture about? About people hating on her, you know? Because at some point, I would tell her, but she would stop listening to me. So I just started sending her Bible scriptures because I didn't know what to do. She was just so devastated mentally and so messed up and she couldn't think. She just changed. We couldn't even work. Then they pulled up another text. Megan Thee Stallion, do you even think I should even do shows? Because Milagro will make a post. Every time Milagro will post, it would send Megan Thee Stallion into a spiral and a breakdown. Megan Thee Stallion was started to cancel shows because of Milagro and her harassment. T. Ferris told her, no. If it's not going to make you feel better, don't do it. Then T. Ferris texts her, I've never seen you hurt like this before. I don't know how to help. They said every time Megan sees one thing online, she goes into her room and doesn't want to be bothered by anybody. They said, do you remember this video of Milagro? She was talking about, apparently, I guess they were talking about the jury, mind you. I guess this was the jurors that were coming in for the Tory Lanez case, and somehow this was a conspiracy. But anyway, Milagro starts talking about, yeah, it's some black, old ass, ugly nigga. It's a black woman that looked like she sleep, some Asian motherfucker in this jury, a Mexican motherfucker, and a white man. And a crazy ass looking motherfucking white man. Bitch, child, I know this is my bullshit. And I can see this bitch, she over there looking at, she want to fuck the white man. And it's an old ass nigga in here. And so she was reading the jurors on the jury for the Tory Lanez case. But ironically, every nasty description, every ugly name she had for the jurors in the Tory Lanez case, well, you guessed it, all represented one of the jurors in this case. They had the old black man, the Asian man, the black woman that looked asleep, the white man, the white woman, and the Mexican. And they was all sitting across from her. I said, I'll be damned. That was a cold move right there. That was a cold move right there. That was a cold move right there. Oh, that was a cold move right there. That was a nasty whack. That was a good one, though, Shay. That was a nasty whack. See, they kind of ate that one. That was a nasty whack. I'm like, ooh. And I'm looking at the old man she talking about. I'm looking at the black woman sleep she talking. I'm looking at everything she's describing. That was a nasty move they did. And then they played, I guess, what was it? Chopped? Was that a song by Tory Lanez? They played the audio. Because remember, if you guys been watching the show, now you guys can go back and listen. Remember, the name for Milagro Grams is Mila. That's what Daystar or Sunstar would call her. And so they played the audio in Milagro. And the lyric goes, Mila, Mila, Mama Mia, you calling me because you really want the scoop. Oh, and then Milagro talking about, oh yeah, ooh. She reading it. Mila, Mila, Mama Mia, calling me, you really want the scoop. Oh yeah, oh, You a lying asshole and you ruined Tory's life. You lying asshole, you ruined Tory's life. That's what she said after she rehearsed the bars. Mila Mia, Mama Mia, you really calling me for the scoop. Oh yeah. You lying asshole, you ruined Tory's life. And they asked T-Fair, and then Megan Thee Stallion just looked like, girl. And they said, what do you think she meant by that? And they said, well, she just was excited that she got shouted out in the song. And I didn't even know until today, Mila Mia, Mama Mia, you calling me, you really want the scoop. Oh, yeah, That's what Milagro, She was giving it in her audio. I didn't know that Mila was Milagro until yesterday. And then I'm seeing the lyric. I'm like, oh my God. That's why they asked her how many times he shouted her out. He said Milagro once, but he said Mila in this one. So Mila is her too. And calling to get the scoop, that's her. And she had felt, Mila, Mama Mia. Yeah. That's me. Yeah. That she was giving that. They mind you, remember, they were playing the audio what? Said in the chat, loud. Very loud. That played that part very loud. Very loud. Everyone could hear that. Very loud. And so he said, T. Ferris said, you never hear Milagro say anything positive about Megan Thee Stallion. Shit. Like, they said, does she ever say anything positive? He's like, never. She never says anything positive. Like, we could have a Popeyes deal. She won't be like, congratulations on your Popeyes deal. Milagro is the type of person to say, look at this drunk ass bitch with a deal. Everybody started laughing. They said, are you Megan's guardian? He said, no. I'm only 44 years old. I'm her big brother. Then they pulled up the tweet where, Megan Thee Stallion, Milagro had posted, where people were saying that, apparently he was fucking Milagro, and she had to clear that up. Not Megan Thee Stallion, where T. Ferris was sleeping with Megan Thee Stallion. He said he never slept with her. He never slept with Megan Thee Stallion. They said, how did that make Megan Thee Stallion feel? Oh, she was hurt. She was sad. She didn't want to talk. She was so bothered. They said Megan would just disappear from people when the internet was being negative, and it just happens all the time. They said Megan Thee Stallion would be in the middle of a party. Something would hit the blogs, and like a thief in the night, Megan would disappear. And everybody was looking around like, where's Megan? And what happens is she's gone. Why? Because Milagro made a post. And she would just poof and disappear. And she couldn't take it anymore. It would happen almost every day. Then the deep fake video, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. They were on their way to the concert. They played the deep fake video in the courtroom. They set the chap, the head on the body. They would play the deep fake video. He said that he saw the video. They were on their way to the concert. And he had received a message. And when he saw the message, he was shaken. He was sad. But he knew he had to tell Megan. And they were on the tour bus on the way to the show. And he showed her the video. And Megan Thee Stallion burst out in tears and sunk into her room and shut the door for 3 hours and didn't come out. Megan Thee Stallion came out and said, what have I done? What have I done to do? Why is this happening to me? After that video, Megan slipped into a depression so hard after Milagro shared that video. She went away to a facility, a therapeutic facility, where she paid $240,000 for psychotherapy, for around-the-clock therapy for a month, because Milagro had stressed her out so bad she could not take it. Mm, mm. Yes. And they rested their case right there. So I'm thinking $240,000, but this is what these celebrities do. Now, side note, pay attention. They all go and get therapy. You look around on the internet, they start, and I'm not saying making sure, I'm just saying everybody. What I noticed when they were getting ready to start suing, they start claiming I'm stressed, my mental, my this, I'm down, woo woo. You go get that diagnosis, then you start getting ready to sue. So the cross comes up. Now there's a lawyer. Now Milagro has 3 lawyers. Jeremy, his name is Jeremy. I forget his name. Jeremy oh girl, let me not even get it right. Let me not even get it wrong. Jeremy McLamont. He's great. He's good. They have another girl. I don't know her name. She has braids. She's like a baby Nicole Westmoreland. She, with a little bit more time, or with a little bit more time, she could be good. There's the third lawyer. She's complete ass. They never need to have her on the stand again. She's trash. She was on at the end. She was absolutely terrible. Milagro got 1.5 good lawyers out of the 3. She's got Jeremy. He is an all-star. The other one, she's decent, and then she's got one that's just complete trash. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have to call it how I see it. But this one in the middle, she was decent. She was good. So we get to the cross. So T. Ferris is sitting there. And so the woman starts going in and she starts saying, this is the good one. She's decent. So you say you seen clips from you consider a hater, right? He said, yes. And you took it upon yourself to show these tweets to Megan Thee Stallion, but you're supposed to protect her? And you know the state of mind that she would be in? Well, she's going to see him anyway. That's why I did it. Like, but you know the state of mind is going to put her in. So why would you show her these things? Well, because she's going to see it regardless. Sometimes she would look at it, even if I didn't even show it to her. It's what T. Ferris says. Then they said, I see these tweets that you have up where Megan is saying, you know, why is this happening to me? And why is this happening? And not tweets, these are texts. Remember, I read you guys the text messages that her and T. Ferris was talking about. Megan being stressed and why is this happening? And she's feeling attacked. Remember, Megan would send those texts to T. Ferris. And Milagro's lawyer said, does at any point any of these texts ever reference Milagro? No. Oh, okay. And then I look up and I wrote the 2 white jurors are laughing in the up there. I don't know what they were flirting or they're laughing, but they wasn't even paying attention. They was up laughing. There was a text about not giving her grace. She said people in her real life and on the internet weren't giving her grace and she was looking for validation. Do you know the people in her real life that she were talking about? No. So what they did with that, which I thought was very clever, but I feel like they could have leaned in a little bit more, was the fact that you guys are trying to use these stressful text messages about Milagro. I mean, about Megan Thee Stallion having a hard time, and you're trying to pin all this on Milagro when really Megan Thee Stallion probably just been stressed out just in general. But you guys are isolating all of this as if Milagro single-handedly traumatized Megan Thee Stallion. And I just don't know if I'm believing that, but that is what they're saying. What they're trying to do is say that Milagro single-handedly traumatized Megan Thee Stallion into a depression. you know? And so the defense is saying these are very general, broad statements that Megan is making. She never said Milagro once. So how are we making this about Milagro? They then went into the approval. This is why I think this woman was good. You approved her treatment, right? The $240K. You're heavily invested in the important decisions around her finances. He was like, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if it makes sense, I can do it. You would agree or disagree that approving that is an important life decision, right? Yes. Oh, this is important because it was like, well, it's given guardian, which gives Milagro the right in her mind to think that you are her guardian. Like she may have some mental things going on because she may be a drunk or she may have some mental illness. You're approving funds. Her friend said you're her guardian. Now watch this. She had ate this up. You live together, right? He said, yes. Well, who all lived there with you? Well, it's like it's just you two that live together. Well, it's more people. Well, how many people live in the house? Well, it's me and one other person. So 3 people. Yes. Well, whose name is on the deed? Then he starts like, I don't know. It's been so long. It's I don't know. Your name is on the deed? Well, yes. It's your house. Yes. Is Megan Thee Stallion's name on the deed? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know if Megan is on the deed? So you're approving funds. Her best friend claims you're her guardian. She's in a therapeutic retreat. And she lives at your house. That's in your name. Are you sure you don't know who else's name is on the home? Well, I mean, if it would have to be Megan, I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked the deed, the paperwork. I don't know. That was a long time ago. I don't know. I don't remember what we did with the paperwork. Okay. I felt like she could have leaned in a little bit more, but then they kind of moved on. You told Megan to remove herself from social media, didn't you? Yes, and she did. But then you would still send her the negative stuff? Well, she was going to see it anyway. Yeah, I did. Okay. Even after you knew what that would do to her mentally? Okay. Do you know who Joe Budden is? Yes. Joe Budden has said nasty things about Megan Thee Stallion, right? To his 1 million followers. Yeah, but it's not the same. You know who Aiden Ross is? You know who DJ Academics is? They've all said things and they have major platforms. They said negative things. Well, it ain't the same. They may say a negative thing, but it's like maybe 1 or 2 times. Megan is okay with you saying that. She can move on. You may say you don't like a song or something. You may say you don't like her, whatever, and move on. You can't just pull up a video of Joe Budden hating on Megan Thee Stallion every day. Milagro Grand's been hating on Megan Thee Stallion for 5 years straight. 5 years straight. You showed her post from other people, right? You showed her the Aiden Ross post, Joe Budden's post, Academics post. You showed her those posts, right? Well, yes. But Milagro, he said yes, but Milagro would do her hating at a high level. Milagro hated so hard, he said at such a high level that Milagro will go in the Guinness Book of World Records of haters. She would go down in the Guinness Book of World Record as the biggest hater in the world. That's how high of a level that Milagro goes at hating on Megan Thee Stallion that he said in court. And everybody laughed. Even the lawyers laughed. My God. I can't make this up. This is why I needed to be at court. You know Partisan Fontaine, right? You know he made a diss record about Megan Thee Stallion. I don't keep up with all her personal life. You know Nicki Minaj, right? Bigfoot? What was the impact of that? She was upset. A lot of people didn't give her grace. I wrote Milagro could not be having her in the room every day by herself. Like that I just don't see that. They asked, was Megan Thee Stallion an alcoholic and did she have a drinking problem? T. Fair said, no, she's never had a drinking problem. He's never seen her get drunk a day in her life. They said the only time that they would drink was for celebration. A drinking problem was almost like a hell no. Like what? A drinking problem? They asked, have you ever seen Megan Thee Stallion throw down five glasses of a Hennessy or Douce in one night back to back? No. He's never seen that, ever. He has never seen her struggle with alcohol. They said, have you ever seen her drinking 5 cups of Hennessy or Douce in a period of 5 hours? No. So you never seen Megan drinking excessively. And then he just started talking. And I said, he's doing word salad, so he lying right now. He was just saying a bunch of nothing. But as a friend, he wasn't going to throw his girl under the bus. So, no. That's why I rock with him. Listen, he had to lie. And I'm not mad at him. Lie. You should. I'm not finna give y'all the case. It's my dog. I ain't never seen it. She ain't never drank in front of me. All we do is drink water and Kool-Aid, bitch. What are you talking about? He said he ain't never seen Megan Thee Stallion drunk. Drunk?
Shit gonna get ugly, okay?
What is drunk? What is this? What is that? Who? Drunk liquor? They said, have you ever seen alcoholic bottles? They said, you got to recycle them? Do you guys recycle? See, yeah, I mean, we got a recycling bin. Have you ever seen empty bottles or bottles in the recycling bin? Never. Never seen that in the recycling bin. Absolutely not. Never seen liquor bottles in the recycling bin. Hell no. Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Is you cool? Like, so he was really like, no. Is you cool? So we wrap there. Now we come to lunch. This is where it gets interesting. Can I just say this? I just got to get this out one more last time. You know, that Milagro lawyer is T. That man fine. I might be a little biased because that man fine, but listen, he's good. He's good. This guy came up. Well, I know what. This ain't the cross yet. See, I jumped the gun. Excuse me. I was already trying to get to it. So, Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers brought up Milagro's other manager, white man, Rock Nation. His name is Daniel Ryan Kinney. He works in the commercial partnerships. That's the endorsement deals, brand deals. He's the main point of contact. He's represented Megan Thee Stallion for the last 6 years. He negotiates every brand deal and partnership. Okay. He, just to name a few, Nike, Revlon, Airbnb, just the list goes on. Megan Thee Stallion is the consummate professional, he says. She gets involved in the creative, scripting, creative direction. So at some point, she'll even use her own people when it comes to collaborating with the brands to make sure the aesthetic fits what her vision is. And I will say this with Megan Thee Stallion. I believe that wholeheartedly because Megan Thee Stallion's aesthetic and her creativity, her branding, it's top tier. It's impeccable. Everything she does is at a high level when it comes to her brand. He pretty much was saying, listen, she understands her brand and she puts her best foot forward with her brand. But there was a shift. In 2022 to 2023, Megan started to decline in her mental health because she had become a victim of bullying and harassment. He saw it firsthand. And Megan got to the point where she was losing money because she had to take time off. She would even tell them at times, you guys have to let up. I need more time. I just need time off. I can't take it no more. She wasn't willing to work anymore. She wasn't hitting deadlines. She was fucking up the money. Megan Thee Stallion lawyers, this is when we get our first introduction again from Nicki on that side. Call of Duty came up. He said Call of Duty was a big thing. It was a huge deal. It was a huge deal on the table, worth $1.1 million. Megan Thee Stallion was going to be the first black female entertainer to be in the game. They were going to make her a skin. That's a big thing. They had got all the way down in the contracts with the deals, and it was at the last point of closing the deal. And the day before, but here's the thing, they were saying like Megan Thee Stallion, it just was going to work for her brand. She was a gamer, and there was not many people that were black female entertainers at a high level with her type of following in the gaming world. So he felt like as her rep, she would be perfect for this. She should take that job. But what Megan didn't know until the day before, apparently she had realized that in the game, she could be shot. And once she realized she could be shot, she quit, pulled out, said she's not going to be in the game. It stressed her out. It gave her PTSD. Activision, which is the company that produces the game, they said that they were very upset because it was going to be a huge one for her marketing, her branding. But it wasn't until the day before Megan Thee Stallion had an epiphany that she could be shot in the game, and it just threw everything off, and she pulled out. And they said, Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer said, well, did they replace her? He said, yes. They said, with who? He said, with our competitor. They said, who is your competitor? He said, another female rapper. Who? Nicki Minaj. He said, Nicki Minaj. Hold on. Nicki Minaj. Then they wanted to get into all the different deals. So now what you're going to see now, so he's the money. So this what this picture is for the plaintiff side is Milagro Grams had tore into Megan Thee Stallion's mental health so bad that Megan started losing brand deals because she couldn't focus. So that is what his job is to do while he's sitting there. They talked about a Google deal, a Just Eats deal that was worth either $2.6 million or $3.6 million. The client canceled because of bad press because Megan was telling everybody that she needs to heal. There was a U.S. women's soccer deal that she had. He said it wasn't worth a lot of money, only $60,000, but it was going to be great for the culture. The deal was lost because Megan didn't complete the song in a timely manner because she was so checked out mentally. They asked, how is Megan doing now? Megan is doing much better now. She's focused and she's engaged. But during that time, she was so mentally beaten by the harassment and bullying by Milagro Grams that she couldn't function. Hold on. And so now we get into the cross-examination of it all. So this is when Milagro. Now this is the round I feel like Milagro won. I feel like they might have won the T Ferris, but I think that Jeremy killed it because he really clocked Rock Nation. So he asked the guy who he worked for. You know, he worked for Rock Nation for 6 years. He was a talent agent before. Some of his other clients are Alicia Keys, J Balvin, Christina Aguilera, Megan Thee Stallion. They asked who he reports to. Who's his supervisor? His supervisor is the CEO, Desiree Perez. That is who Megan Thee Stallion lawyer, Megan Thee Stallion's rep reports to, Desiree Perez. So Daniel reports to Desiree. So he was trying to ask her, basically he was saying like, so how does the deals work with your other clients? Have you ever had some long form deals not go through. A long form deal is pretty much when you get past the negotiations, you guys are kind of in the contract stage, you're about to sign off on everything, it's done. Daniel's saying that he's never had any of his clients fall out of a long form deal agreement, except Megan Thee Stallion. Things may have fallen out during the negotiation phase. Either, they couldn't agree to a number in the negotiation and the deal may have fallen through. But when we get past the negotiation and we're at the long form point, the deal almost always goes through, is what he's saying. So you got to watch that. So in 2021, Daniel says Megan was really engaged, but in 2022, she stopped engaging. So what Megan's lawyer was saying is like, but you get paid off of that, right? Because he was basically saying, well, if she brings in less money, you make less money. And he was like, well, I got other clients. But he was like, well, Megan Thee Stallion is one of your biggest clients. So could it be that she was engaged and she was working so much that she kind of got burnt out and got tired? He was like, well, no. She was like being harassed. He said, you want her to close the deals, but you didn't think about her being shot. You were pushing her to close this Call of Duty deal, but you didn't think about her mental state and how she is going to be shot in the game. The Rock Nation rep says, well, that's not why people play Call of Duty. Milagro's lawyer said, well, why do people play Call of Duty? What do they do? Oh, it's more of a social game now than to be shooting. And I'm thinking, I don't even play Call of Duty, but I'm like, I know that's all they do is shoot in the game. But the Rock Nation man is saying that's not what Call of Duty is about. They don't just shoot in the game. So he said, so you weren't focused on her mental health when you signed her up for the Call of Duty shooting game. He was like, well, she was going to do it, but it was just like she felt like people were going to take her character and shoot it up and do mean things with her character and post it online, and she was going to have to relive it every day. And Milagro's lawyer said, so what does that have to do with my client? Who shot Megan Thee Stallion? Tory Lanez. Did Milagro Cooper shoot Megan Thee Stallion? I don't believe so. Wait, you don't believe so? Do you know my client? Have you ever heard of my client? Yeah, I did hear about her. I've seen something. I heard about her when I got notified we were going to take action. He said, wait, we were going to do what? Well, we were going to take action back in January. Oh, so 9 months before you guys filed, you were notified of my client. So you guys were targeting her. Because y'all filed, you knew 9 months before, Rock Nation, you knew 9 months before y'all actually filed the lawsuit? So y'all were building the case on her. So Megan not going to work has nothing to do with Milagro. No. He's a but I'm aware of her. They said, well, do you know exactly who she is? And they was like, well, how do you he said, do you have social media? Like, how do you know that Megan Thee Stallion is like going through all of this stuff? And I thought it was, he said, well, we have a pool, a system that does press releases. Wait, let me get to that because that's crazy. We have press alerts, and we look at the alerts every day. And I seen some. He said, "So what did you see? You seen like you? I just knew it was a journalist that was targeting her, targeting and harassing Megan Thee Stallion. It was a journalist. Is Milagro a journalist? Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I just, she just writes articles, and I seen that. We seen that. I knew that she was like harassing her and dragging her. Oh, so you seen articles. So you would say you seen online articles that my client wrote? Yeah, I seen some articles that she wrote, some nasty articles that she wrote. So you would say my client is a writer, like, so you read some articles that she wrote? Yes. And I'm thinking, this motherfucker's lying. He slightly lied on Milagro. Milagro don't write articles. You never seen an article that Milagro wrote because she don't write no damn article. Why would you lie like that? You don't know who Milagro is. You never knew who she was. You were put up there to sit up there and make it seem like those brand deals were lost because of Milagro. And in fact, the brand deals was lost because Megan Thee Stallion had been shot and had a bunch of things going on the internet. This was not targeted on Milagro. You don't even know Milagro, and you've never seen her, and you've never seen a video. You just got wind 9 months before you guys were going to file a lawsuit on her that, hey, get ready, we're gearing up to sue this blogger. You had no idea. You literally had no idea. You don't even know who the hell Milagro is. But you up here lying like Milagro is the reason that Megan Thee Stallion was fucking up the money. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, wow. So he said, this is when the Nicki stuff came in. He said, this is Milagro's lawyer. Do you know Nicki? Hold on, where we at? Oh. You know Nicki Minaj? Nicki bullied Megan Thee Stallion, huh? And she got the deal. So maybe it was just some of her relationships that Megan had going on that maybe that's why she didn't get some of the deals. No, it was because she was being harassed. Okay. And he said, well, do you consider Nicki Minaj an A-list celebrity? He said, in hip hop. Do you consider Megan Thee Stallion an A-list celebrity? Absolutely. In entertainment. I was like, ooh, what's the tea? He gave like, girl, Nicki ain't really a celebrity like that. Megan Thee Stallion is the star. I think where they were going with that was maybe Nicki still got the deal, so it wasn't like maybe Megan Thee Stallion just. I don't know where he was going with that. I don't know why they even brought that up. I was trying to figure it out, but I don't know why that came out. But I was glad it came out. It came up. And they said, what does Miss Cooper have to do with Mrs. Pete being shot? If she was like, what does that have to do with it? How does that go into her losing the deal? And that's when he started talking about, well, she was afraid that people would use the Call of Duty character online and shoot it all up and, make mean memes about it and send it all over the internet. He said, Megan Thee Stallion has the most controversy, right? I wouldn't say she has controversy. No. What is that? Well, she has the most vitriol. No. All right. I would say it's the most tragic. Okay, let's just go tragic. All right. Megan Thee Stallion has the most tragic situation out of all your clients, right? Yeah. Have you ever worked with any other rappers? He said, yes. Who? Meek Mill, Lil Uzi Vert, Clips. Okay. So when Meek Mill and Drake got into it, had a diss record, was a lot of people talking on the internet and having opinions? Yes. So I guess perhaps if Megan Thee Stallion is so stressed out, it's not because of my client, it's because everybody. So Milagro's team was basically saying, you guys are trying to make this an isolated incident against Milagro Grams, but girl, everybody talks about Megan Thee Stallion. Why are you guys centering and targeting her? That's their argument today. That's their argument. So then he said, well, could it also be that Megan Thee Stallion is busy? So maybe there were some schedule shifts. Yeah, schedule shifts. So even during dealing with the Tory Lanez case, couldn't that be a schedule conflict? Yeah. So you've had a lot of different things going on in her personal life because she was at court and doing this, so she couldn't do some of these deals. It wasn't because Milagro Grams was harassing her. And to be quite honest, he didn't say this, but I could hear it in his tone. You don't know who the Milagro Grams is. You just found out about probably 2 hours ago when you were told to testify. He said, you're a good negotiator, right? He said, well, I think so. Now I'm okay. He said, come on, you work for Rock Nation. They're not just going to have any person there negotiating. You work for big celebrities. Well, I'm good at what I do. So when you negotiate the deals with Megan, you wanted her to take that deal, right? You were convincing her and telling her why it's a good up. I don't negotiate with her. So you don't think that's negotiation? She tell you this and you bring it back to her and y'all think about why she should take the deal. That's not a negotiation? Because you want her to take the deals because everyone gets paid. So he's basically saying, if you don't know your client, because how does nobody know that Call of Duty is a shooting game? Or you didn't give a damn. You just wanted her to take that deal because you was going to get your check. But now you're trying to put it on my client. Did Megan Thee Stallion ever tell you that she's not going to take the deal or any deal because of my client, Milagro Cooper? No. Ate that up. He said on down. I'm like, oh, He ate that up. But Rock Nation is messy. That was the end of Rock Nation. That was the end of Rock Nation right there. Now, we had got into Dr. Lenore Walker, forensic psychologist. She's a specialist in trauma. Okay. So this is Megan Thee Stallion's people came up. I checked out. They pretty much had her, talking about trauma and PTSD and what qualifies, and everybody's reading charts and the different type of traumas and how Megan Thee Stallion is traumatized and how it fits into the trauma and how she diagnosed Megan Thee Stallion with PTSD. Okay. But so basically, in the cross-examination, they brought up the fact that the lady was paid to be there, not by the courts, but by Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? They said, "Are you paid to be here?" She said, "Yeah, she's paid at a high level." They pulled a pic. This is when they were before the cross. This is Megan Thee Stallion's people. They pulled a pics of Milagro Grams. They put a pics of Tory Lane's dad in pictures together. Oh yeah, this is funny. So Megan's team pulled up pictures of Milagro and Tory Lane's his dad hugged up in pictures. And this was traumatizing for Megan Thee Stallion. They said that, and then they pulled up the picture of Tory Lanez with the horse, cutting up the horse, and then Milagro posted and said, "Tory, was that a horse?" That also traumatized Milagro when he had the horse in the video, and then Milagro tweeted, said, "Is that a horse leg?" That traumatized Megan Thee Stallion and gave her PTSD. During the cross, no. They also said, did Megan get the PTSD from Meg? No, did Milagro give Megan Thee Stallion the PTSD? The lady said no. She didn't give her the PTSD. The shooting did. That was the first thing. But it's merged together now because coupled with the shooting and the online attacks and the affiliation married the two together, and mentally it was all too much for Megan Thee Stallion, and that's why she ended up diagnosing her with PTSD, because now it's all merged together and you cannot undo it. The shooting kicked it off. Milagro's humiliation and attacks came second and married it together, and now Megan Thee Stallion had been traumatized. So much so, they had worked through the death of her mother, the absence of her father, the death of her great-grandmother, and her childhood traumas. Actually, Megan Thee Stallion is not even really affected by the grief of that. Grief is always there, but it's not as heavy anymore. What's really getting her now is Milagro Grams in her social media account, merged together with Tory Lanez shooting her, but heavy on the internet and Milagro Grams. It has traumatized Megan Thee Stallion to no end, and she has PTSD. Oh yes. Yes. That's how they going. That's how they carrying. That's where they're going with this. Yes. That is where they're going with this. Yes. That yes. That is what they're giving. Yes. That's why I'm just like, girl, what? What? Yes. That is what they are giving. So the cross-examination. This is Milagro's lawyer. She's okay. I don't think they won this one because this here's the thing. This lady walked up in there, first of all, with a cane on. With a cane. This lady is about 100. The psychoanalyst lady, the forensic psychologist, she's about 80 years old. She's been doing this for 50 years and she's been testifying and stuff and on these courts. She don't even work in offices no more. So they said, you're being paid, right? Yes. So you were paid in July $15,000 to run the test. Yes. Then you were paid another $9,000 to look over some video footage and just to really analyze everything Megan Thee Stallion has got going on. I mean, there was a slew of videos, documentaries, this. That was $9,000. So we're sitting at $24,300 so far that Megan Thee Stallion has paid you. And as you sit in the courtroom today, each day that you don't get up to testify, you're getting paid $550 an hour. The lady said, no, I'm actually getting paid my day rate. I'm getting paid $5,000 a day to sit here on top of the $24,000 that they've already paid me. They said yesterday, the judge asked if there were any witnesses in the room they need to be leaving. And you were a witness and you sat here and you watched my client go through examination and cross-examination and you didn't leave. And she said, no, I don't remember that. I mean, they told me to leave and I left. She lied. That lady sat on that front row behind Megan Thee Stallion that entire day. The lady lied. We looked at her. I saw her. I saw her with my own eyes. She was sitting there. She did not get up when that announcement was made. She sat there. So you listen to that whole testimony. They said, so I guess, I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it's called. Hello, doctor. I don't know. You guys probably know. But pretty much the girl uncovered that she never actually met Megan Thee Stallion. She did the evaluation over the internet, over like a Zoom call. Meg didn't come in the office. So she was like, you can't fully observe her. The lady said, actually, it's better now when we do it through the internet, because guess what? I can see more of her face because I can get closer than if in person, because, you know, with COVID and everything, kind of like we're not as close. So actually on the Zoom, I can really see her features. I'm thinking, oh, this old lady is not playing. Since when can you see somebody clearer through the internet and Zoom than sitting in your face? I'm like, what? Girl, what? Girl, what? Since when? I'm just asking, since when? They said, do you know Nicki Minaj? I'm like, I know this. This is when the ladies start really cutting up. I think I've heard, maybe I heard a song. No. Did Megan Thee Stallion ever tell you that she collaborated with Nicki Minaj on a song called Hot Girl Summer? No. That it went double platinum? It was her first single hit? Did she tell you that it went number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100? No. Why would she tell me this? Did she mention they had a public beef in September? No. I think it was they had a public beef. And then did Megan ever mention that her and Nicki fell out because Nicki said Megan tried to force her to drink 2 months before while she was pregnant, 2 months before the Tory Lanez trial in 2022? Did she ever mention the diss track, Bigfoot? The lady sitting there like, no, why would she mention this? That was in 2024. And it was number 23 on the Billboard Top 100. Did she ever mention that? Did she mention that the diss track referenced Megan Thee Stallion's mother? Then the lady started acting like she couldn't hear. Did she mention that the diss track referenced that she had sex with her friends? What? Excuse me? What? She said reference. What? What did you say? Did she mention that the diss track referenced that Megan Thee Stallion slept with her best friend's man? No. Did she mention that the diss track said that she didn't get shot, or that she got shot and had no scar? Excuse me? What? Huh? What she did? What? Did she mention that the Nicki Minaj diss track that went number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2024, the Nicki Minaj with millions and millions of followers, did she mention that she was in a public beef with her, and that her mother was mentioned, and that Nicki said that she had got shot but didn't see no scar? Did she mention that the diss track that she said she lied on Gayle King? I said, oh, I see what she's trying to do here. She bringing up the fact that, girl, why y'all not, Nicki Minaj is a major, major celebrity, but that's not adding to Megan's trauma? Why Megan didn't mention that? Why is that not being mentioned? They said, you went and evaluated all of Meg's catalog, and the lady went down and read off every music video, everything. Right? She read down everything. She also said, did Megan mention to you that she was in a relationship with Partisan Fontaine? No. And that he made a diss track about her and called her a liar? Do you think that would add to the trauma? I don't know. I would have to see how she felt. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. You don't know? Did she mention? Well, she didn't mention that. Well, when you looked at the documentary, did you remember that Megan was saying that she was drinking a lot and had a drinking problem? I don't remember that. Well, let me refresh your memory. Pulled up the documentary where Megan sound like she said she was drinking or she was drinking and getting fucked up, something like that. And the lady was basically saying that, oh, it just happens sometimes when you go through trauma, you just drink. But I know that I did a test on Megan, does not have a drinking problem. It was so easy. She passed with flying colors. We tested her. During that time, she probably was drinking a little bit, but she's definitely not drinking now. She's not drinking, that doesn't mean she had a drinking problem, even though she said that. No, that's not a drinking problem. Did Megan mention that in 2020, the Gayle King interview, did Megan mention that in the Gayle King interview that she talked about getting shot? Would you agree that reliving that is the trauma? Well, I don't know. I didn't see it. I would have to know how she reacted. Partisan Fontaine wrote a diss record in 2023. He accused her of lying and giving up and giving falsehoods. But can you say that's reliving the trauma? I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it. I have to see. I don't know. So you saw the Tory Lanez chop video, and that was reviewed by you. And that had made you feel like she was reliving the trauma, right? Yes. Oh, yes. She was reliving that trauma. And when Milagro Grams retweeted and said, "Is that a horseshoe?" You saw that, huh? And that made her relive the trauma. Oh yeah, that could definitely make her relive the trauma. But the Nicki did for the Protestant Fontaine, you can't off the cuff in my head. Now I'm right now like so because this is why I'm getting frustrated with the lady because I'm like, girl, you're not gonna go back and say, but you don't think that. How can this picture and this screenshot make her relive trauma, but none of this other stuff make her relive trauma? And you don't find it funny that they didn't show you any of this shit? They said, "Are you familiar with Joe Budden? Did they send you a clip to review that? He has 1 million followers. And he said that she was lying about being shot. No, I didn't see it. Is that reliving the trauma? Could be. I don't know. Aiden Ross, 6.5 million followers, says she's lying. Is that reliving the trauma? I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I would have to see. I mean, I can't really call it. DJ Academics says she's lying about the shooting with 4.5 million followers. Is she reliving the trauma? I listen. I can't really speak to that. I can't really because I didn't see it. So then she said, "Okay, if someone shows you," she did the T. Ferris reference. If someone shows you negative news about yourself, is that reliving the trauma? Like basically, if I show you Megan Thee Stallion negative news, is that reliving the trauma for her? If someone shows that, she's like, well, I don't know. But you would agree, looking at something traumatizing could really make you relive the trauma. Well, I'm not saying that. So what are you saying? So you're saying that she is not reliving the trauma and it's not, and it is like, what are you saying? Because she was saying, well, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying this either. Like the lady was playing games. She was trying not to get tricked up. So, and I wrote, this lawyer could have set this up better because T. Ferris already gave her the alley-oop. She relied on the fact that, okay, he said he was showing her information, but the lady was like, well, I can't say that it's reliving the trauma because I have to see how she reacts. And she was like, well, if somebody's showing you something traumatized of negativity, you don't think that that is reliving the trauma? She was like, well, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that it is either. I'm saying that I have to be there to see what's going on. And my thought process is, if I am the lawyer, I would have said, because T. Ferris said that Megan Thee Stallion, every time she would see negative news, she would get sad and go into the room. So I would have said, if someone shows you something negative and then it makes you be sad and you go into the room and don't talk for hours, is that reliving the trauma? Which means T. Ferris kept having you relive the trauma. But she wasn't getting there. She was talking slow. She was not hitting the fucking points. They said, so you were only shown. She said, I was here to analyze the trauma from the shooting and on the internet. They said, but you were only shown Miss Cooper, my client's internet post. She said, yes. But I would have said, so if you're supposed to be looking at the internet harassment, how are you not seeing? You don't think that it's odd that you weren't asked to review the beef with Nicki Minaj, who's a freaking A-list celebrity, her boyfriend, who's a public figure, Aiden Ross, Joe Budden, all these other people, and yet with millions and millions of followers, but yet my client with only 40,000 followers is adding to her trauma? You've reviewed every music video and almost every interview in Megan Thee Stallion's catalog, but yet you haven't reviewed any of her public controversy with A-list celebrities and famous streamers and podcasters. Yet my client is the one that's making her relive the trauma, and she has a fraction of the following, and they don't even present to you everybody else that has millions of fans that's going to attach to it, and you want my client to put everybody's fan base on my back and say she's the reason why Megan has PTSD? Bitch, you're crazy. And the lady just kept acting like she couldn't hear nothing. Huh? What? So, I don't know. That was the end. I felt like that lawyer could have went a little bit hard on that lady, but that lady was playing stupid. But the lady's getting paid $30,000, $40,000. So she gonna play the game. But yeah, child. It was some tea. It was some tea. But I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. I definitely feel like they're gonna get Milagro on, at least on 2 of these counts. This is not gonna be just a cakewalk. I feel like it was given 50-50 today. I feel like it was good lawyering on both sides. I can't call a winner today. I was gonna say, if I had to pick one, I feel like Meg's witnesses were a little bit better, but I do think that Jeremy really nailed Rock Nation, because they did a good job of making Megan Thee Stallion look like she was targeted. But at the same time, I think they did a good job. They're painting Milagro as a villain and being a Tory Lanez lover versus a Tory Lanez supporter. And you know what I mean? Like, she really, the Mila, Mama Mia, all of that, girl, like, you really like Tory Lanez. You was a Tory Lanez pick me. This is what, you know what I'm saying? Like, they did a good job of pitting that picture. So I'm in the middle. I don't know. We're going to see what Meg does tomorrow, and we'll see. But also, please shout out to everybody that's donating. Can you guys keep donating to our More Wig Fund? We need it. We need more wigs. We need more wigs. The Venmo is attached. If you guys are liking the show, we had a good time. Thank you guys for flying me out here. I truly enjoyed covering this case with you guys, and I'm hoping you guys are liking the coverage. And this weekend, we may actually take some calls and do some things. Oh, it's Mac Dre Boom. Yeah, I did a photo shoot in this shirt like last week, so can't wait till you guys see the photos. They're fire. But yeah. All right. I love y'all so much. I'm gonna try to get some food because I didn't get no food yesterday. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys like when I cover these cases? Are you entertained? Do you like the coverage? Are you getting your life with the coverage? Let me know, and then I'll see you guys soon, okay? Peace out.